roles, have fun, and be yourself. Introduce yourself. I'm Sydney, and I'm 22 years old, and I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I've lived here my whole life, and I have cystic fibrosis, and I was diagnosed with it when I was born. On a scale from 1 to 10, how authentically are you living right now, online and offline? Online, I am 100% on authentic. I share everything and I don't hide anything. Just because I feel like that gives people an idea of what I'm really going through and the good and the bad. Even though there's usually more bads than goods sometimes, I want to be able to share what I'm really going through and not just be like, oh, this is all the good things that are happening in my life right now, when meanwhile there's a lot of other things going on in my life right now. So I want to be able to share that. And like offline, I'm very upfront with my friends and saying, hey, I'm really struggling right now. Like, I need help. I don't know what I'm doing. And just even with my doctors, just being like, hey, where should I go with this? And so I'm definitely very authentically just, hey, this is what's going on, and I'll just tell you how it is. So I really think that's important. You shared that you were born with cystic fibrosis and told you wouldn't live past 15. How has that diagnosis shaped the way you approach life? It's shaped the way of being able to do anything I'm given. I will not back down from anything because you never know what day you're going to live till. Even without CF, you never know this could be your last day. But with CF, knowing I wasn't going to have that long of a lifespan, I'm going to do everything I possibly can in this moment because I don't know what's going to happen. And even still to this day and every year is another gift of life. And I'm not going to let it get taken away from me by saying, no, I don't think so. All my friends laugh because I don't understand the word no. I say yes to everything. I am a yes person and I will do everything, even if it's an adventure. So it's given me the opportunity of just saying yes and taking the risk because you never know what could happen. For people who don't understand CF, what is it actually like to live it day to day? Living with CF day to day means hours worth of treatments from the time you get up until the time you go to bed. I wake up about an hour before, or hour and a half before everybody else would have to get up to do something, to do an hour and a half worth of treatments before I can get started with the day. So like getting up, I do my vibrating vest, which shakes my mucus out of me, and my nebulizer to help get my lungs prepared for the day and start getting them moving. And then I can go into the normal thing everybody can go into, like brushing your teeth, eating breakfast. But even when I do my breakfast, I have to take all my enzymes. So in the morning, I take about 20 enzymes. I do 7 enzymes with each meal. I'm also diabetic related to my CF, so I have to deal with that on top of it. So it's so much more of every little thing adds on. So like throughout the day, I have to take medications along with everything, keep track of my blood sugar, insulin, and even just making sure as a teacher now I'm washing my hands consistently, because even when you're not a teacher, you don't think about that all the day, that okay, I just worked with this kid, I need to wash my hands to make sure I'm not going to get sick if I'm going to be touching anything. And then at night, at the like unwind, people can just lay in bed and go to bed. I have to do another hour and a half worth of treatments before I can even go to bed. So it's definitely a hard time adding more into what a normal day of life is.
What is your routine like at night?
At night, I do a vibrating vest again, 2 nebulizers, and then another 10 enzymes at night. So, not really easy of just going right to bed, but everything before getting ready for bed. What is it like being an athlete with CF? It is a challenge. Having lungs that barely work already is definitely hard. And recently, I had both my lungs partially collapsed. So that was definitely hard because I'm training for my second half marathon right now, and I haven't been able to run or really work out since Thanksgiving. So that's definitely been really hard for me as I can't really do much. And I finally just started working out again. I actually ended up in the ICU. And at that time, I was like, wow, okay. So running right now is just off the table. I just want to be able to walk. Um, Growing up, whenever I played club soccer and everything like that, I was told, you're not going to make it to college. Like, there's no way you're going to be able to play because you have CF. I never let that get in the way. I found a coach every year that gave me an opportunity and believed in me and let me show my true athleticism and how I can adjust. I might not be able to run as long as others, and I might have some issues breathing, but I've learned over the past 22 years how to adjust to working out with CF. It might look way different compared to everybody else, but I'm able to do it. It's just going to look different. And then having the chance to play in college and be one of the first athletes with CF in college was just, it still feels unreal because going in, I was actually in the hospital leading up to going into college for soccer. And I was like, okay, I need to keep working out because I report in a week for my freshman year. So they got a bike in there, and it was me riding a bike just to stay in shape enough. And just having someone and teammates that care for you was really important because, like I said, my schedule's so different. For our morning practices at 5 a.m. during college, I would be getting up at 3:30 in the morning. And then if we had practice again at night, I wouldn't be going to bed till almost midnight. So my schedule was really different, and it was hard getting up early for those mornings, especially if we got to bed late after games. So that was really hard. You now advocate for people living with CF. What impact do you hope your work has on other people living with CF? I want others with CF to be able to live a longer life and get an opportunity that anybody that's normal gets to live. Like being told that you're not going to live past high school, that in my head is still crazy to think because that's like 15 or 16 years you get to live. Regular people get to live almost to 180 years old if they're lucky. And now people with CF, because of new medications, are being told they're going to be able to live until they're 42, which is still really young. But in the world of CF, we're like, oh my gosh, that is so old. That's amazing. And I just want to show other people with CF, like, yeah, you're going to have people that say, no, you have CF and you can't do this. But in reality, if you have your mindset, you can do it. Just keep pushing. You're going to have people that say no, but there's going to be so many more people there that will be on your back and support you. And it's just so amazing that I get to be someone that people get to look up to now and be like, wow, she was one of the first people in college that got to play soccer. And she does all this other things. She's run a half marathon. She skis. She does everything. So I just want to make an impact and kind of break barriers of what people think CF is, but then going past that and be like, wow, she's doing that. And people not question, oh, you have CF, you're going to die. So that's what I want to do is keep breaking barriers for people. What's the biggest lesson CF has taught you? Definitely just to keep pushing. Life's not easy, and I've had many setbacks, and many people tell me no. And even just to keep pushing through, you're going to have the people there to support you when they need to support you. And it might seem small in that moment, but knowing that they're there is the major part. And just finding that group of people that will be along the way with you the whole way is really important. So just find your people that will help push you and support you, even if they think you're crazy at times, but they'll be with you along the whole way. If someone watching this is struggling with their own health battle, what would you say to them? Don't let it scare you. Don't let it get you down. It's just a term stuck with you right now. It doesn't define who you are. Nothing can really define who you are except you. So it's how you're going to task to overcome that battle and how you're going to take it head on. Don't let it scare you. You just need to take the wheel and say, this is how I'm going to deal with it. This is the way I'm going to go. And I'm not letting you scare me. What are you learning to love about yourself? This is a good question. I'm learning to love all the pieces that I have of myself and what creates me. I think for the longest time, I've always, and I still do this, compare myself to somebody that doesn't have CF. And I'm like, oh, they're lucky they get to do this. I can't do that. Oh, they get to look like that. Well, I'm never going to look like that. And like having CF, there's so many scars that you get. There's so many surgeries, everything that comes along with it, so many medical devices I have on me. And I've always had in the back of my head, like, oh, no one's going to like me for that because of everything I have with me. And as I've gotten older, I'm like, the right person will come and they will like me for all that. And it's so cool to be loved, even having everything you do have with you. So it's definitely just learning to, although you have those things, and it's not going to put a barrier up. You got to love yourself for it. It's there, it's part of your journey, and accepting that. And I think that was the hardest thing that I am still learning, but I've learned to understand a little bit more is it's part of your journey. It tells a story. It helps narrate what you're going through. And that's what I love is the whole journey I've gone through at this point.
I actually have one more question.
Yeah.
So when you were approaching 15,
Mhm.
how was that for you? Did you think that you were going to live?
It was definitely hard because when I did hit 15 and 16, I was in high school and I was starting to work out for soccer and kept collapsing because I couldn't breathe. So in the back of my mind was like, okay, like this is it's hitting. I missed a lot of school during that time because I was in the hospital and really sick. I couldn't even get out of bed at that point to walk. Um, so it was always something in the back of my mind at that time of, okay, we'll take every day we get. We don't know what could happen, but we knew that there was new medication coming out. They said was in the year, and I just kept telling my body and kept telling myself like, you can do it. Like it's almost there. And luckily, the medication did come out early enough, and it changed my life. And now that's the new medication that's expanding lives with people with CF. So it was in my mind, okay, this could be it, and I've done everything I could at this point. Like there's so much more that I want to achieve, but I'll be okay if this is where it's going to end because I made my high school team. We won states, and it was going into my sophomore year, and I was just thankful to have all the opportunities that I had at that point. So it was definitely hard, especially going through such a hard health mental point at that time. But I'm thankful that the medication came through and I had my family and friends to support me the whole way because they just stopped in every chance they could to come see me because none of us really knew what was going to happen and what the outcome was going to be. How has it felt to be seen in the hot seat? Any final thoughts? I love being able to share and advocate about CF and cystic fibrosis just because I feel like people hear it and they're like, "Oh, that's not good that you have that. Like, how are you still alive?" And with all the medications, I'm just trying to change people's perspectives of, "Wow, she has CF and she's doing all this and she's still doing so well. She's doing so much." And not, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Like, yeah, it's not a great thing to have, but it's given me the opportunity to do things like this, which is really cool, and being able to share my story and meet amazing people.
Huh. What is that?
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Cindy.
Yes, thank you.